Can this pick me up, or do I need to move these things?
You can keep it away from you. We don't need it.
Okay. Well, you get down 26, which I think is what we got down. One point was 26. I think it's going to be pretty hard to win a Division I basketball game. Really disappointed in our effort in the first half, and I mean that effort. We didn't play hard. We didn't play with energy. I thought we had a great week of practice, and maybe one of the best weeks of practice we've had since games started. And sometimes it doesn't carry over right away. We got to continue to have great weeks of practice and keep building. The only way to do it is to work, but it didn't carry over there in the first 20 minutes of the game. And I'm disappointed, frustrated. I think our team feels the same way. And to be sitting here talking about a lack of effort, feels like it's unacceptable. But that's the truth of it. The second half, I liked the team. I liked our team. I like coaching that team. And that team played with great effort in the second half. We played with pop. We played with energy. When you look down, and the numbers are it's almost like two different basketball teams, one half to the next. But that's because we played with a different type of energy and togetherness. And so I was proud of the way that we fought back into it and showed some character. I do think this is a team that has character and wants to do it right. So I am proud of them in the second half. I thought we had some chances there to really get back in it and win it. We just kind of couldn't convert a couple that we needed to convert. We had a couple, that third 4-minute segment, we chart the 4-minute segments in games, and we try to see kind of where we are. We won 4 of the 5 in the second half. The third 4-minute segment we tied, and I thought that was the one segment where our defensive energy kind of dropped and focus dropped for a second. They get a couple easy baskets. They get the pitch ahead in transition because we're just not communicating. They get a 3 because we kind of fall asleep. But over the course of the second half, I thought for the most part we looked like the team that we're capable of being like defensively, and I thought that gave us more opportunities on offense. It was good to see the ball go inside. That was a key to the game, to try to use our size, and we finally got it in there. And we didn't necessarily convert on the free throw line like I'd like, and maybe if we shoot it a little better. I think what were we 7 for 17 or something in the second half from the free throw line. You leave 10 on the line, and if we shoot the ball well from the free throw line, it's a totally different feel there, I think, in the last 2 minutes. But I've never met a young man that wanted to miss a free throw or a layup or a shot, so I don't get too worried about that kind of stuff. The effort there in the first half is kind of what has me frustrated. So I'm going to look in the mirror. I'll get to the film as soon as I get done with you guys and figure out what I got to do better to get us ready to play for 40 instead of 20.
Was it maybe a matter of having a layoff, or is there any explanation for it, or?
I'd be speculating. Like I said, we had a good week of practice. We had a really good week of practice. We came back in Sunday. We had to change all our plans. It was Sunday, right? That was the 26th.
Yeah.
We had to change all our plans with the Houston cancellation. We didn't go hard. We didn't have any contact, but we went short and ran a lot to get our win back. Monday and Tuesday, we got after each other and real competitive and got back to working on some of the things that we got to get back to defensively that we've shown at times throughout the year. Gave them Wednesday off, and we went at it 2.5 hours on Thursday. I went about as light as I could possibly go yesterday to have some legs for today, and thought we did a good job preparing, and it didn't happen in the first 20 tonight. So it'd be speculation right now, Chad. I thought going into the game, I thought we were ready to play.
Wes, how much do you kind of tip your cap to Tulane for the way they shot it in the first half? Or is that down to some of the effort issues that you're talking about? Do they shoot it that well because of the effort issues and so on?
Yeah, I haven't watched the tape yet, but I thought they made a couple really tough ones. And listen, they're playing with confidence. They came off a big win at Memphis, and you could see them finding confidence throughout that game. But they made a couple tough ones early. I think they hit, one of the first shots they hit, and we got off to a good start, right? First possession, we get a layup, and second possession, JD hits a 3. We have a couple stops, so we start off the first minute and a half good, and I think they hit a fadeaway in the post, a really tough 14, 15 footer. And I think they made some shots like that where we actually were in decent position. And I thought we let the result affect our energy. And I thought that's kind of how it got going. I also thought it got going. They're not a crazy running team, but they ran at us a couple times, and we're not matched up in transition, and you lose one of the best shooters. I think Jalen Forrest, you lose one of the best shooters in this league in transition when you had every opportunity to get matched. That's just sprinting back and communicating. Guys, I'll look in the mirror. We're working on that and rebounding as hard as anything I've ever worked on as a head coach. And we're not carrying that over to games. And that's I got to look in the mirror and figure out what I got to do better to get us to do that. And the same thing in the second half. I mean, we were really good. And, there's that lull where John doesn't sprint back and you give up a big foul and lose sight of the ball and give up a dunk. And so we just got to get more consistent even when we are playing with good energy. But I thought made shots early took our energy to try to play the next play. At least that's what I felt like live. We'll see what the film says.
From the first half to the second half, was there anything that you said in the locker room, or was it anything the players said that kind of sparked the energy to see they were more together in the second half, obviously, but was it something you said, or was it something maybe one of the, JD or somebody else said in the locker room that kind of sparked it possibly?
We have good guys, so you can sit here and complain about your guys. I'm not going to do that because we had a bad first half and had a bad result. We have good guys. They want to do it right. They're trying to do it right. So I would have expected nothing less. Your back's in a corner. You're getting embarrassed in your own gym in a league game. Come on. That's what we should expect. So I expected that. There was no speech or anything like that. We went in there and talked about what we had to do. And it wasn't a lot of adjusting. It was like, let's go do the things that we practiced this week that we believe will help us win the game. And I thought they came out and played with that kind of energy, and we had some more success in the second half. It just wasn't enough.
Coach, three-point defense has been a strength of your team through non-conference play. So when they come out and they're shooting the lights out, I think they were 9 for 14 in the first half. Do you just part of you have to accept that somebody might catch up to you to have a game like that, or do you not subscribe to that theory?
Yeah, I'm not into the theories and all that. I'm just into trying to be good every day, trying to get better every day. I think we can guard the three-point line. It's something we emphasize. It's been good for the most part throughout the year. And like I said, some of the stuff in the first half, tip your cap. They made some shots. They're playing with great confidence and rhythm. And then we made some serious errors to give them opportunities to make shots. I don't know if I said this or not. They out-rebounded us in the first half. And they're not a team, and you can look at their numbers, that values offensive rebound. They get back. So I'm not saying anything negative about Tulane. They don't want to offensive rebound. You can see by their style of play what they value other things. So they get back, and we're getting out rebounded by 11. There was one possession, we get a stop, and it was somewhere in the middle of the first half, and we get a stop, the missed shot, and the ball bounces 3 times, and we got 3 guys around it, and we don't pick it up till it's halfway to half court. And that's just pursuing the ball. And again, I always say the responsibility lies with me. I accept it. It's when you sit in the seat, that's what comes with it. And I got to figure out how to get us to pursue the ball. But then in the second half, we out-rebounded by 11, and I thought we were much quicker to the ball in that half. So we got to figure out how to do it more consistently and from the start.
You talked about, trying to find ways to get JD maximize his talents on offense. With David, it feels like if those first couple don't go in, sometimes it kind of seems to pull him out of a rhythm. Is there some way to change that or prevent that from happening?
Well, they're playing a match zone, which can be very frustrating. We spent a lot of time preparing for it, so I thought we were ready. And then I thought in the second half we actually executed some of the things we practiced, and all of a sudden it looks like we could attack it and score. But to say that we try to get David action early in the game, because of how talented of an offensive player he is. It's a little harder to do that against a match zone because it's so unpredictable in how they defend and how they guard. If you understand what a match zone is and the way that Tulane plays theirs. And so we tried to put him some action early. They did a really nice job of making it difficult for him. We brought ball screens to him and being aggressive with him. They trapped him one time out of a timeout. I don't get into the theories of stuff like that. Like, David's a great player. He's a great offensive player. I don't think it's one of those things where if he misses early, he's not going to have a good game. If he makes early, he's way better of a player than, to let something like that mess with him. It wasn't his best offensive night. I did think he kind of figured out how to get downhill a little bit and make some plays for us in the second half, which we wanted him to do. We wanted him to kind of find some seams in the zone and drive it, and I thought that helped us a little bit there.
Anything else? Right, thanks, Coach.